sometimes when teaching Sijo, teachers are a little perplexed. How do I get the students to get the rhythm and get the feel of this? One way to do this is through mimicry. That is to say, copying one of the masters to get the feel of how it goes. Now, we've got to be careful about this, because when you mimic, it's plagiarizing, and we don't want to plagiarize. But for a teaching purpose, to look at what the masterpiece is and to modify it, that's okay. And in fact, in the old days in China, they had a great poetic tradition in China, these 4-line poems. And the Chinese masters, they had a tradition of changing just one word and making a new poem. And it was not considered plagiarized, it was considered a tribute to and a modification of the old poem. So to modify a poem is a valid way to do it. So you read a poem, read 2 or 3 or 4 poems, and do one of these work a little bit for you? Do you like this one or one of these? Does this mean something to you? Now, let's make it mean a little bit more. Let's change it a little bit so it works for you. And that's one way of mimicking and changing a poem a little at a time to make it work for you. If you completely change a poem, you've got a thing called a parody. And a parody is the same song but with different words. And a parody is a legitimate way of creativity, of creating a new poem. But it's a copy, not really a copy, more of a echo, a copycat. It's in some cases making fun of, in some cases it's just modifying the original. Okay, let's take our masterpiece poem that I like so well. Though I die, die again, though I die 100 deaths, after my bones have turned to dust, whether my soul exists or not, my red heart, forever loyal to my Lord, will never fade away. And let's suppose that we're going to a Korean restaurant. Now, Korean food is really good, spicy, they have kimchi. Koreans also eat soft-shell crab. Americans eat soft-shell crab too, but I've had soft-shell crab in Korea, and I had a group in Korea this last spring, and we ate some soft-shell crab. Well, soft-shell crab, they'll stick in your gums and they'll stick in your teeth. These bits of soft shell, before you can chew them up good, will stick in your mouth. Well, one of my friends wrote a parody of a Sijo about the experience of eating soft-shell crab. Okay, let's try this one. Though I chew and chew again, though I chew 100 times, after I have chewed and swallowed, whether I have indigestion or not, the crab shells, soft crab shells they're called, will stick forever in my memory. Now, my friend that wrote this was very clever. Will stick forever in his memory. He's talking about the crab's soft shells sticking in his teeth and in his gums. That's what's going to stick in his memory. So that idea of stick in your memory is a good image. So you see the parody, the soft shell crab parody, that it's not though I die and die again, but he's lightened that up. There's a very serious poem, and he's made a parody of it, of though I chew and chew instead of die and die. So that's a vehicle, and if your students want to make parodies of Sijo, it can be very creative. And then once they've done that, then they're on the step to making their own Sijo from there. So parody is one example, mimicry is one example of one way to get into writing Sijo.